It's right there. Never mind.
I don't know if I should be handling hip or not.
Sandcrabs on your feet. Let's welcome your Seabreeze Sandcrabs.
2020. It was supposed to be the year of a new and clear vision. But instead, a worldwide pandemic, COVID-19, became the vision with no sports. Basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, lacrosse, bowling, even horse racing. And then the unthinkable. No football? Was there any hope? You know, people who wonder if the glass is half full or half empty should consider a different perspective. The glass is refillable. Week 2, Friday Night Lights in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Seabreeze High School football. Seabreeze High School football in Volusia County is brought to you by the Daytona Beach Resort. Welcome to Municipal Stadium here in Daytona, Florida for tonight's matchup between the University Titans and the Seabreeze Sandcrabs. I'm Nick Gimbel alongside Chance Thyhsen for week 2 of high school football here in Volusia County. And Chance, last week we got a solid look at Seabreeze's starting sophomore quarterback, Blake Boda.
Right, Nate. Blake Boda on paper didn't extremely impress me, but looking at him playing, he did great. Had 115 yards, 4 for 11. Longest pass was 63 yards, and I think we're going to see a lot out of him tonight.
And your favorite player from last week, Colt Brown on the defensive side of the ball for Seabreeze.
Listen, college scouts, Colt Brown led his team last week in tackles and sacks. 10 tackles, 3 sacks. I love saying his name because it is indeed an NFL name, Nick. And I think we're going to see a lot out of him tonight, too. I've heard that University's front is pretty solid.
And my favorite player from last week, the man I dubbed the Shoe, Mac Shoemento, 4 for 3 on his field goal attempts, 2 solid PATs, and a 51-yard long field goal attempt. As we are about to get set underway here, we have some technical difficulties with the scoreboard. So the only thing that we see is the actual time of day.
Gimbel takes off to begin the game and puts it through the end zone. Titans take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line.
So we apologize if there is no direct time for
I'd like to begin by thanking some of our valued sponsors.
Seabreeze won the coin toss and they will defer. So University High School,
Now an authorized PGD dealer.
University will start with the ball on their own 20-yard line.
Nick, I'm really excited to see what Blake Boda has in him tonight. I think he's going to be a very big threat, and you see this huge defensive line. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, yeah.
University with the ball, the handoff is not going to be completed. It's going to be Aiden Figueroa, the first play. He will hang on to it and pick up 6 yards on University's first play.
Titans handoff up the middle to Aiden Figueroa. Gain of 6 yards. 2nd down and 4.
So it will be 2nd down and 4. And again, we do apologize for the scoreboard difficulties. We only have the time of day on the scoreboard. We will not have the time remaining in either of the 4 quarters, as of right now at least. So we're just going to have to deal with whatever the referees and the line judges tell us. Right now, it says 2nd and 4 for the University Titans, coming off a 41-7 victory against Winter Springs. Figueroa with the right hand sends it. He's got a man wide open, and he can't complete it. That was number 17, Darren Brubaker. Got in behind the Seabreeze secondary, and that would have been a quick touchdown for University.
Right, University, if they can keep coming up with stuff like that tonight and mess with this Seabreeze secondary, I don't see a reason why they can't score on every drive. I think that Seabreeze secondary is lacking a little bit, and I think they need to pick it up right now early. And I know it's kind of early to say it, but they've got to get their act together already, Nick, and letting somebody go deep like that is not okay.
3 receivers to the right of Figueroa. The hard count does not get Seabreeze to jump. Once again, 3rd down and 4 off the 2nd down incompletion. Figueroa hangs on to it. He's got an alley to get through, and that's going to pick up a 1st down for University.
Aiden Figueroa on the quarterback keeper. Stopping the play, E.J. Williams.
Once again, this would be the point where I tell you how much time is left in the 1st quarter, but again, no time up on the scoreboard. So all I can tell you is that is a fresh set of downs for the University Titans. In their road white uniforms, orange helmets moving left to right across your computer screen. We thank you for joining us here on the Seabreeze High School YouTube live stream. Once again, Nick Gimbel alongside Chance Thyhsen for week 2 of high school football. Figueroa again, this time over the middle. This time it's completed, and a big hit there by number 8, Dimitri Campbell. And that is going to be another 1st down for University, and Seabreeze is on their heels early.
Seabreeze has got to do a better job defensively. I know I said it was too early, but it's not at this point. They've had 3 straight completions outside of that direct run we saw from quarterback of University. I think that now that's a real dual threat. We thought that Seabreeze's quarterback was a dual threat, but this guy's using his legs a little more, Nick. I think this could be a definite problem for Seabreeze's defense.
Figueroa will hand it off. University picks up 6 yards on the play. They're going to spot him down actually at Seabreeze's 43-yard line, so that's a pickup of 7 officially. And that is Jalen Brown on that carry.
Gain of 8 yards. Brought down by E.J. Williams once again.
So University threatening in Seabreeze territory, working on 2nd down and 3.
Last week we noticed Deltona didn't get across the 50-yard line one time on their own, whether that was offensively or defensively. And I think Seabreeze is starting to face a challenge. That offensive line for University is solid.
And Seabreeze defense last week was perfect. They had a shutout last week. As another handoff is going to be completed. Again, that is Jalen Brown picking up a 1st down for University, their 3rd one on this drive. And as I was saying just a little bit earlier, Seabreeze defense was perfect last game. They didn't give up a single point against Deltona. All 8 points scored by Deltona last week was scored by their defense against Seabreeze offense. And Seabreeze defense just doesn't look ready to play tonight right now.
No, absolutely not, Nick. They are struggling so far. And I think the fact that University's offensive line has been so great, I'm looking at the top of the screen here. We've got a safety blitz coming across. That offensive
It's
line,
held, it's thrown, and it's wide open in the end zone, and it's dropped off the fingertips. Damari Taylor and Figueroa again showing the same kind of arm that Blake Boda has and that same confidence. But again, it's just not clicking right now, and it's going to be dangerous for Seabreeze if it does. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 10 on that long incompletion that hit the fingernails of Damari Taylor and fell to the turf in the end zone. University Titans taking their time.
10 from the Seabreeze 35-yard line.
Nick, I think it'd really be nice to have that clock right about now.
Once again, us up here at least, and even for the players on the field, we're not going to know if we're going to get any kind of delay of game penalty. Figueroa, again, the QB sneak does not work. Seabreeze will hold their ground line, and it will be 3rd and 10.
Brought down by Cadavrio Sandcrabs.
And one quick substitution as DeMarco Nelson is going to come out. And again, University taking their time. They're allowing Seabreeze to catch their breath. And they will move their receivers around a little bit as Figueroa gets set in the pocket. 3 receivers downfield, 1 upfield for Figueroa. 1 man in the backfield. All of this at the 35-yard line. Figueroa releases his man, holds on to it, sends it over the middle. It's dropped. Again, into the hands of number 10. That is Cole Leisure.
Bringing up 4th down and 10.
And that will bring up a 4th down and 10 for University. Aiden Figueroa is going to stay on the field. University seems to be in 4-down territory on the Seabreeze half of the field.
I think that they're going to try and take advantage of this opportunity here, Nick. They probably were watching film last week and saw that nobody was able on that Deltona offense to get across the 50-yard line. Maybe they see an advantage here.
On 4th down.
So a 4th down and 10 for University. Figueroa hangs onto it, drops back, has a man over a receiver. Is it caught? Did he get out of bounds? They're going to call incomplete.
Out of bounds.
So Seabreeze is going to get the turnover on downs.
Sandcrabs take over, 1st and 10.
And again, Seabreeze won the coin toss and deferred to the second half. So, albeit a little bit rocky along the way, Seabreeze was able to get the job done on defense, giving Blake Boda a chance for a 1st down and 10 on his own 35-yard line.
Right, Nick, and we spoke before to a few of the people kind of floating around up here with us, and they say that University's defensive front is insane. They think that it's going to give Seabreeze a run for its money. We didn't get a roster for University until today, unfortunately, but we have noticed so far that in warm-ups, they look pretty solid, and I'm excited to see what they have for us.
Boda, the lefty, moves one to his left. The handoff will be completed. And again, Amari Brown, exactly the same way as we talked about it last week. Amir Brown, excuse me, not Amari, that is Amir Brown on that carry. He got hit in the backfield and got a solid 2 or 3 yards out of that carry.
Right, and Amir Brown is a head-first runner, almost kind of reminds me of a Josh Jacobs. But the issue he's having, he's running lateral instead of horizontal. And I think that is where his issue is. He is, I believe we're going to have a penalty, though, excuse me. But anyhow, he had 11 rushes for 4 yards last week. That is not necessarily the yards we're looking for.
And the issue with that is he probably ran for 100 yards as the holding penalty gets Seabreeze back a good 10 yards. They put him back. I thought I heard from the official that holding was 10 yards. They pushed him back 15 yards. If that's a 10-yard penalty, that should be on the 25, not the 20. Regardless, they're going to set up shop at the 24. Quite a hefty 1st down. Boda through the air, finds his man on the right side. That is Trevon Phillips, who is snuffed by a white wall on the right sideline. Short gain of 2 yards brings up 2nd down and a bus ride for Seabreeze.
Like I said, Nick, that defensive line and that secondary for University looks really good tonight. They were prepared. They're coming in. Fresh start after that win last week. And with both teams fighting to go 2-0 after this week, Seabreeze has got to do a better job on offense. I think what's the line judge got, Nick, for us?
We are looking at 2nd down and long, looking at about 2nd down and 23. Boda, the lefty, rolling out, hangs on to it. He's got a little bit of daylight. He's hit after going down to the turf. No call's going to come from that, but he picks up 2 or 3 yards, gets the ball to the 25-yard line. 3rd down and 20 for the Sandcrabs on their first possession.
Nick, and I'm surprised we didn't have an argument from the coaches on that. They pushed them back 15 yards. That should have only been a 10-yard penalty.
Seabreeze getting direction from their coaching staff. Boda, the lefty. His comfortable side is to his right. University looking like an all-out blitz right here. They're going to back off just a little bit. Boda through the air, and a big reception there by Matthew Bossett, who had 2 touchdowns taken away by calls by the officials last week. But that is going to bring up 4th down and long, and the shoe is going to come out to try to send it as far as he can into University territory.
Nick, and we were watching Boda in warm-ups, and they were running those types of routes, and we were kind of worried about how he was throwing them. Seemed like he was overthrowing a little bit. Right there, that was on target. I'm really looking forward to seeing him tonight.
And unfortunately for Boda, I mean, he picked up 10 yards on that drive. That was a drive that started on the 20-yard line, ending on the 31. So again, last week, 7 penalties for 78 yards against Seabreeze. That's probably one thing head coach Pat Brown needs to right the ship on. Shumento, the right foot, sends it all the way down. This is going to spiral for a beautiful kick. It's touched. Seabreeze has a chance. And it is Sandcrab ball. That is a number 20. I don't have a 20 on the roster. So we're going to wait for the announcement to see. But that is a huge misstep by the University Titans. And again, I said it last week. I said it pregame. I'm going to say it now. The shoe, Max Shumento, has a big role on this Seabreeze team right now.
He has been a huge help to this team. Only missed 1 field goal last week, but still, big help. Just pinned University back. And if they hadn't touched that ball, Seabreeze would have had a great defensive opportunity next.
That is E.J. Williams. So the call on the field is 1st down Seabreeze. That was E.J. Williams picking up that loose ball. So moving from number 5 to number 20 on the jersey. And Seabreeze is going to have fantastic position on the field at their offensive 22-yard line. No score in the game. We will do our best to keep track of that. And we have no idea how much time is left in the quarter. All we can tell you it is 7:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
You know, it is a little difficult without a time clock, Nick. That's kind of hopefully they can get those hiccups worked out next Friday. And I, honest to God, hope they get it done before this game is over.
And really the only 2 times we have issues is when we come down to the end of the first half and end of the second half.
Right, especially
otherwise it's just going to flip sides of the field.
Right, especially, and if you didn't know, this is run by the student broadcast team at Seabreeze High School, and they're learning to go through the woes and the issues of a television level production.
Boda, a good reception on the far side, goes right through the middle. That is number 23, Tashad Troutman, the junior wide receiver, getting his money worth for a 1st down and goal. Gets Seabreeze directly on the 10-yard line in scoring position.
Let's remember, Nick, he loves targeting those tight ends, so I'm keeping an eye on a tight end on this play, unless we've got a handoff looking like it.
Amir Brown trying to get to the right hash marks. He does. Picks up a gain of about 3. Again, running as hard as he can to that right side of the field. Finally decided to cut up field for a 3-yard gain.
Right, and to finish touching on what we were talking about earlier, Nick, seemed like he couldn't get a full head of steam unless he was getting almost a halfback dive kind of style play. He was running straight up, but when they would kind of give an outside pitch or any of that, he was running too far north to south rather than east to west.
2nd and goal on the 7-yard line. Boda, he's sacked in the backfield. No help from the O-line for Boda.
Titans breach the backfield.
That is going to back Seabreeze all the way up to the 12-yard line for a 3rd and goal.
That was Elias Vasquez. Good Lord. Full head of steam coming from Boda. That offensive line's got to do a better job, I think. Seemed to be a misread between the quarterback and the running back there. Or honestly, they may have been running a read option and just got to him way too fast for him to even think about making a decision.
So 3rd and the 12-yard line after the sack by University. Boda sends one in motion, moves him to the right side, and the officials are going to say that is no. Instead, I believe that's going to be a timeout by Seabreeze. Pat Brown doesn't like what he sees.
Is it too soon to say I was thinking that was the end of the first quarter?
It's a little
too soon. God, that is so. That's going to throw off a lot of people, including us.
And unfortunately, the PA announcer was talking throughout the referee, telling us how much time was on the clock. If I heard it correctly, there's about 4 minutes and change on the clock. Not 100% sure, But again, as I said, the only time that's really going to get to crunch time is at the end of the first half. So Seabreeze has 2 downs to work with. Chance, are you looking for 3 points on the board if this gets to 4th down, or are you going all 4 downs trying to put it in the hands of Boda?
I think we put it in the hands of Boda if that offensive line can protect him. I think that, especially in this game, they've got to focus on passing the ball more. I've noticed those little short routes is catching University off guard more than anything. And also, if the running back can get a full head of steam and get going, they're not far from a first down. They could potentially be to a 1st and goal.
So it is 3rd down and goal. Boda, all alone in the backfield, has 5 options. He sends it towards the end zone, and that's what we saw a little bit in pregame. That one just missed his receiver, Chris Lewis, down at the feet rather than at the hands. So 4th down coming up in goal, and Max Schumento will come out.
Send in the field goal team. Max Schumento set to kick the field goal.
So 4th down and goal. Unsuccessful for the sophomore quarterback, but we'll see what the junior has to say about it. Setting up at about the 19-yard line for a 29-yard field goal attempt. Based on what we saw in pregame, easy pickings.
Easy pickings for Max Schumento, absolutely. Great kicker, 3 for 4 last week.
Low snap is handled by the holder, and that is no good. I believe that went wide to the near side. It was a low snap, and it didn't look like it went off his foot properly.
That University defense is just putting too much pressure on that Sandcrab offensive line. It might be a battle of the defenses tonight, Nick.
It is still 0-0, even though there's no score on the scoreboard. We have not reached the end zone or the uprights yet tonight. So Schumento's going to come out and try to send this one the length of the field for another touchback. So Seabreeze with 2 first downs of their own on that drive. University had 3 first downs on their first possession. And that turnover on downs, rather than the kickoff from Schumento, is going to give University the ball at the 20-yard line.
And up to Jalen Brown. Picks up about 6 yards.
And the carry by University is going to bring up 2nd down and 4.
Nick, we may have a glimmer of hope.
The scoreboard to our right is getting worked on. And you know what? That might be a little bit distracting for the University quarterback, Aiden Figueroa. If I'm the University coaching staff, I'm telling the referees that needs to not happen. Figueroa gets it out before he's hit. Big collision. Ball comes out, and they're going to say that's an incomplete pass. That was in the hands of number 22, Jaden Dozier. And that is heartbreaking for Seabreeze, as that was a big collision by, I believe, number 10, Eli Campbell, knocked that ball loose. But the referees are going to say an incomplete pass rather than a catch that was received, tried to be turned upfield and turned into a fumble. So it's going to be 3rd down and 4 for the University Titans.
And I've just received info from our director, Nick, that we have got a lower third with the scoreboard on it that will be updated as the game goes. If you guys cannot see the board that we have coming up out here for us.
Figueroa deals with the pressure. He gets it out to Brown. Brown with room down the left sideline, gets a block, but got down at about the 45-yard line of Seabreeze. That is a big first down for University.
Nick, we had a halfback screen there, and for everyone watching at home, shoelace tackles, that's the definition. Got him down right about the 50, grabbed him by the ankle, and just got tripped up and down.
Luckily for Seabreeze, it was just enough to get that University runner, Jalen Brown, down at the Seabreeze 46-yard line. So University, again, 2 drives, 2 possessions in the Seabreeze defensive half of the field. All 3 options for Figueroa to his right, and he's actually going to use his feet. Gets a block, but a flag is going to come in on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 9, barring the foul we have on the field.
He runs it up the middle, gains about 8 yards. Flag on the play.
Nick, I was looking at a number 50 on the left side over there, potentially a chop block. I couldn't quite make it out.
We will wait from the word from the official And it looks like everyone's backing up to University side. So I just heard it again from the official, holding a 10-yard penalty. Pat Brown is not going to like what he sees if he watches film. That first holding penalty against Seabreeze brought him back 15 yards.
Right.
They're only pushing University back 10 yards.
See, this is going to be, we talked about that laser last week. That laser in film is going to be going crazy. And it's not going to be for the players. It's going to be for the officials.
Regardless, of first down and 20 after that holding penalty against University. Figueroa hangs on to it, picks up a couple of yards, stays on his feet, taking collision after collision, getting 1 yard away from the original line of scrimmage. It is second down and 11, and a good run from the junior quarterback.
Josh Allen vibes, Nick. I don't know if you kept an eye on the Buffalo-Miami game last week, but Josh Allen decided to just throw a Dolphins defender down into the dirt, and that's pretty much what we just saw Figueroa do.
Now, assuming it is correct on the scoreboard, it says 25:1. I don't know if that's supposed to be a 2:51 left in the first quarter, but regardless, they're working on that scoreboard. But with second down and 11, University going to work again in Seabreeze territory.
Nick, that may be 25.1 seconds. Nope, still not working.
And that pass is thrown right over the head of Jalen Brown, who is going to get a lot of looks. Only a sophomore running back for Jalen Brown, but he's had a lot of touches and a lot of targets here from Aiden Figueroa.
Figueroa seems like he just can't put the ball in the right place so far. He's kind of been overthrowing his receivers and running backs. And I think that no matter how much his offensive line can protect him at this point, if he can't figure out where to put the ball.
And we hear from the official, 1:10 left on the clock here in the first quarter. It is third down and 11 for University.
See, so on our scoreboard, we've got third and 11, but we don't have anything else. We have what yard line the ball is on, what quarter we're in, as well as third and 11. But other than that, we don't have time or anything outside of the officials. Hopefully they can get that fixed.
Figueroa hangs on to it. Pressure coming from Seabreeze, but it's connected with Jalen Brown. He's taken down short of the first down marker, I believe.
Pass is complete.
And I tell you what, Aiden Figueroa took some punishment from 3 red jerseys in the backfield.
Right. They're seeming to really like these screen plays, and it's getting them a lot of yardage. This running back, Jalen Brown, is going to be a main factor of this game if Seabreeze doesn't get on the ball now.
Chandler Powers comes out of the game, while James Padgett comes in for University, the tight end. Keep an eye on Padgett here coming to the right side. It's only a 1 yard gain needed for a first down by University.
This is looking like a QB draw, Nick.
Figueroa, backfield, hands it off, and a first down is made by University and more. All the way to the house. Jalen Brown found a hole and gives University a 6-0 lead.
University touchdown.
Nick, originally looking to me like a QB draw because of the setup. They had no one outside. I was not expecting a handoff, honestly. That is a way different formation normally than I'm used to seeing. I mean, University, their offensive line created a gap for Jalen Brown, and he took full advantage of it, turned on the burners about the 30, and left the Seabreeze Sandcrabs in his trail.
Now, here's what my main question was during pregame watching University handle it. Number 23, A.J. D'Souza, able to kick here for University. Let's see how he does. And it looks like he's going to send this one through the upright. So it's a 7-0 lead for University over Seabreeze.
The University Titans pull ahead of the Seabreeze Sandcrabs 7-0. Just shy of the end of the first quarter.
So a little bit of...
That's the end of the quarter.
And the officials are going to call that the end of the first quarter. So that'll be a 7-0 lead for the University Titans over the Seabreeze Sandcrabs here at the end of quarter number 1.
Also, Rachel and Dilla, mortgage lender of Ameris Bank, for all your funding needs. Southern Security and Fire.
So, Nick, a lot of hiccups here from the officials and from on the technical side of running the board at least. I think Pat Brown's going to make us think about this because didn't they say a minute 10? They ran the ball twice and did not call a timeout. So, personally, I don't quite see how they could have run the clock out that fast. And especially normally on a PAT, you don't run the clock. So how did we get to 0 seconds? There's no way we burned a minute 10 off that clock. Or maybe we did, and they gave them a little bit of extra time. I'm not.
Scoreboard seems to be operational now. If I saw 25:1, that may have been the scoreboard operator not knowing how much time was left and saying quarter one, if I had to guess. But everything seems to be functional on the right side of our field here at Municipal Stadium. 7-0 lead, for the University Titans. That was Jalen Brown, who had a solid run for University to get them on the scoreboard. And it's going to be Seabreeze's turn to find an answer to the University defense. Waiting for word from the officials to get this kick.
To kick off. Back deep for the Sandcrabs is Trishad Troutman and Dimitri Campbell.
Campbell and Troutman back to receive this kickoff off the leg of A.J. D'Souza, the linebacker turned kicker. The right foot is going to send this low, skidding on the turf. And that is going to be handled at the 2-yard line. Here comes Dimitri Campbell, working to the right sideline. A flag is flown on the play. Campbell gets all the way to the 39-yard line before he's taken down, but there is a flag back at the 16-yard line. We'll see what the officials call here.
Onside block, during return, 15-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal.
So is it a 15-yard penalty or half the distance to the goal? It is a blindside block on Seabreeze. But the words from the official was 15-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal. A 15-yard penalty would be half the distance to the goal on the 30-yard line, but the ball was on the 39-yard line. So we'll see where they place this ball. Or are they saying half the distance to the goal from where that foul occurred?
I don't know, Nick.
That's my fault for not having that understanding of the rule. It looks like it's half the distance to the goal from where that penalty occurred. It seems down in 10 from the 6-yard line.
Nick, the officiating is, from an analyst standpoint, is not.
11:52 left in quarter number 2. 7-0 lead for University. Boda, the handoff. He has Amir Brown with a little bit of daylight up to the 21-yard line. And a big first down for Seabreeze.
Nick, we've seen more than 4 yards out of Amir Brown so far. I think that is going to be polarizing for this Seabreeze offense if he can get a full head of steam and get going just like he did there on a lot of these downs.
Fresh set of downs for the sophomore quarterback. Again, the handoff this time to looks like Stephen Taylor for a loss of 2 this time. Line of scrimmage was at the 22-yard line. Backs him up to the 20 for a second down and 12. Zed Martin, that's a 25, not a 15. Zed Martin needs one heck of a pick-me-up game. He had 2 fumbles last week, but he did have a 70-yard kick return. So a little bit of an up-and-down game last week and no gain on that run here on a first down. Boda has a man on the left side, and that pass is completed for a gain of about 3.
Nick, I'm still really impressed with Boda. He's been able, like we were talking about in pregame, he's been spot on for every throw he's made in this game. Hasn't really had an underthrow except for the one on the goal line. And I honestly think, I didn't really get to say it when it happened, but there was a lot of pressure coming from the DB on that play, and I think that's more of why that ball was underthrown. So other than that, Boda looks good still.
Already 0 for 1 tonight on third down. 0 for 2, on third down. They were 1 for 9 on third down last week. Boda, a man long downfield, and he just misses. That was Tashad Troutman, who had nothing but green turf in front of him.
Brings up 4th down and 9.
So Seabreeze will be 0 for 3 on third downs tonight. Here with 11:40 left in quarter number 2. And Max Shumento is going to try to send this a long way away from his goal line.
Hey, Nick, I got to say, I know this has absolutely nothing to do with the play, but it is a beautiful night for Friday Night Lights here in Daytona. Take a look to your east, Nick. Father Lopez across the street is playing football right now. Look across.
So a fresh ball comes out on the turf. 4th down and 9 brings up Shumento.
Excuse me, Nick, west, but take a look over there.
Yeah, a beautiful.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Beautiful sunset as Shumento gets this one in his hands. This is another beautiful punt, and this one is going to take a hefty Seabreeze bounce, continues to roll into University territory, finally down at the 22-yard line. And the PA announcer said he put boot to leather. That boot was put through the leather.
And that's the shoe for you, Nick. I mean, kid's got a cannon of a leg.
So University will be backed up all the way to their 22-yard line. And Seabreeze defense is going to have to make a statement here in quarter number 2 to try to get their offense back on the field and get some sort of momentum on their side of the ball.
They've pinned University.
Now the officials are saying 10 minutes on the clock, so something's still wrong with the scoreboard. The officials do have the official time on the turf, so 10 minutes left in quarter number 2. University with possession. The handoff is complete, and again, Seabreeze really doesn't have an answer until they get halfway to the first down marker.
See, Colt Brown, this is where Colt Brown has to be a force. He's got to be able to come out of his position at linebacker and play as if he's a defensive end. He's got to be able to get around and get through that offensive line to get to those backs before we can get even close to halfway to the first down.
2nd down and 5 for University on their own 27-yard line, leading Seabreeze by a score of 7-0. Figueroa hangs on to it, finds an open lane, breaks a couple of tackles, still on his feet, finally taken down at the, I believe, 37-yard line, possibly 38. And again, Figueroa hit 3 or 4 times, picked up about 10, 12 yards.
Good Lord, Nick. Kid is built like a tank. I mean, that's impressive. That's really impressive to me. I mean, holy cow, there's not really words to describe that. He's a tank. Busting through that Seabreeze defensive line, wow.
And that D-line for Seabreeze really has no answer for it right now. They've got to get something working for that D-line in red. Figueroa, again, hangs onto it, backs up, and he's taken down in the backfield, the first sack of the game for Seabreeze.
And that was Colt Brown coming in for that sack. Led the team last week, 10 tackles, 3 sacks.
Harold McKay as well.
I'm telling you, Nick, keep an eye on the kid. He busted straight through that offensive line of University and just let the quarterback have it.
2nd down and 20 for University. Just what the doctor ordered for the Seabreeze defense, and they need to keep it going. Crowd has started to filter in here, again socially distanced due to the COVID-19 protocols.
Even though we move into phase 3 this week, Nick, as ordered by Ron DeSantis this morning,
Figueroa hanging on to it, taken down, and it's going to be 3rd down and long again. Go ahead, Chance.
Oh, you're good, man. So still see everybody with their masks, social distancing here at Daytona Municipal. And yeah, looks good. Everybody looks good. The band looks good.
University came out in numbers on the spectator side of the field, or the visiting side of the field, I should say, for the spectators.
Brought their entire cheerleading squad with them. I think they had their band originally were scheduled to and then ended up getting canceled. But
So third down and about 13 for University.
Third down.
Once again, under 10 minutes to go in quarter number 2. Seabreeze will receive the kickoff. Figueroa, pass to the near side, misses by a mile above the head of Chandler Powers, brings up fourth down and 13. And the punt team is going to come out for University. Great stand there from the Seabreeze defense.
Right, Nick, and like I said, if he could not figure out how to place the ball into his receivers and running backs' hands, they're not going to get far on a play like that. I mean, seemed to be a wide receiver screen from where I picked up at. I kind of turned my head away over here to look at, the opposing side. Some other stuff kind of missed it. But it looked like a wide receiver screen. It just seemed like he couldn't get on. He can't lock into his receiver so far, and I think that's because of this Sandcrab defense kind of putting some pressure on him.
High snap is mishandled, and it is just fallen on. Seabreeze is going to have phenomenal possession at the 15-yard line.
Sandcrabs with great field position take over first and 10 from the 15-yard line.
Just a high snap went right through the hands, and again, you wonder how much the lack of kicking ability that A.J. D'Souza normally has, the linebacker turned kicker punter, we haven't seen Michael Eddy at all for University. Wondering what's up with him. Hasn't shown up at all tonight. But Seabreeze is going to have the ball at the attacking 15-yard line. A direct snap. And with speed, here comes Chris Lewis all the way to the 9-yard line. That's Amir Brown, excuse me. That was a 2 that was scrunched up on the jersey. Amir Brown, the direct snap, as you said, Chance, picking up good yardage, but again, running a mile for a pickup of 7.
Right, Nick, and we talked about it before, that running left to right instead of running forward and backward. He's got to be able to put himself forward. We're going to go for a direct snap again.
Amir Brown, again, working to the right side from the direct snap, taken down for a gain of about 1 or 2.
Nick, and I expected this. I was looking at it, and I was saying last week, not on the broadcast airways, but just talking to you, that I thought I would like to see a little bit more of these direct snaps coming from Seabreeze, throw the defense off a little bit, and so far it's working. But now I'm looking, I think we both have kind of this puzzled look on our face. Where's Boda?
Boda on the sidelines doesn't seem to be injured, but Amir Brown hangs on to it, gets to the 3-yard line, working for more. And he's going to be grounded down at the 3-yard line. So Boda definitely not injured. This is just a new look from Seabreeze that is putting University on their heels, and it is first down and goal at the 3-yard line. That is Seabreeze's 4th first down of this half, and a timeout, I believe, is going to be called. A water break timeout. So neither team loses a timeout, but they both gain an opportunity to talk to their teams, the coaching staff does.
I wonder if this is still due to the scoreboard. Maybe they're trying to get it figured out. Maybe they've had an idea, figured something out.
Physical therapy, taking care of all of your.
So again, the best I can tell you is that there is under 10 minutes, probably about 5 or 6 minutes. And I did get expert ruling on the holding penalties. It is 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So the holding penalty was assessed on Seabreeze 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That's what pushed them back 15 yards back from their original line of scrimmage and only 10 yards back for University. So 10 yards back from the spot of the foul. So a big shout out to our expert rules analysis getting that information to me. You know who you are.
Yeah, Nick, I was thinking about it, and I'm just kind of like, wasn't it spot of the foul? I just couldn't quite remember, but.
Lots of whistles on the field from the officials. First down and goal on the 3-yard line. Blake Boda still on the sideline, not injured, just a different formation. Amir Brown, again, looking like he's going to take this direct snap.
Nick, I'm thinking we're going to see a little trickery here in the next few plays.
We're wondering if we're going to see what kind of arm Amir Brown has?
Potentially. I mean,
let's see. Seabreeze trailing by a touchdown. Hangs on to it. Amir Brown does. He's hit by his own man. Does he get to the goal line? He does! Seabreeze gets their first touchdown of the game. And barring a PAT from Shumento, it's going to be a tie game for the Sandcrabs.
Nick, the offensive line did his job here, except for number 70, Aiden Ford, freshman offensive lineman. Look at how big he is. He's huge. Brown ran into a brick wall hitting him, and he's going to feel that one in the morning.
So as it stands right now, before Shoemento gets out there, it's 6-7 for University. And we'll see what the Shoe has to offer here on the PAT.
And I must apologize for the disrespect I put on the Shoe's name last week by calling him the Foot.
The Shoe does his job, and we have ourselves a tie football game, 7-7 late in quarter number 2.
Nick, in looking at this game from an analyst standpoint, I figured it'd be a battle to the end. I mean, two great teams with so much potential. I mean, do we see a potential playoff matchup here early in the season?
We'll see, but I mean, if we look last week, Seabreeze had a commanding 30-8 win over Deltona. University had the 41-7 win against Winter Springs. Too early in the season to determine the skill level of Deltona or Winter Springs. So we knew that this was going to be a season-determining matchup for both of these teams. Right now, a couple of miscues along the way for both teams. You expect that early in the season, but it's neck and neck right now. We got ourselves a ball game here late in the first half.
Time, 6 minutes and 4 seconds.
6 minutes and 4 seconds, the official time from the men in stripes down on the field. So a good amount of time for University to have possession and work with it. And Max Shoemento is going to try to send this all the way back for a touchback. With the right foot. This one's going to get a little bit of air under it. This one's going to be returnable. University again mishandles. It's in his feet. Seabreeze is able to get there and take him down at the 10-yard line. That is number 11, Chad Pezza, on the tackle. And the Seabreeze crowd is loving it here tonight.
Right, Nick, last week, Chad Pezza had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Remember when he bust through the offensive line, stole that ball?
Almost had another one.
Almost had another one, Nick, and I think he is going to be another one of those Seabreeze seniors, the 20 seniors they have this season. And we spoke to it the first game. Coach Pat Brown said a tight-knit group, and we're seeing that tonight, putting a lot of pressure on this University offense, defense, and special teams.
And I always take a look to see the kind of team camaraderie you have on the sidelines. Two very different stories on either sideline. As University has possession on a first down and 10 at the 10-yard line, University kind of spread out as this handoff goes nowhere except for a loss of 1. University on their sideline spread out for a solid 20, 30 yards along their sideline. Seabreeze, all together, that tight-knit group. Not only do you feel it on the field, you see it on the sidelines. You can feel the kind of camaraderie they have just watching each other pump themselves up. If there's a missed play, they're picking each other back up on the sidelines. It's good to see on a tight-knit group like that. And it's 2nd down and 11 for University as Aiden Figueroa sets up shop in the backfield.
Nick, I worked closely with Daytona State men's basketball for a while as a manager, and you talk about that camaraderie. It is always good to have a team close to each other. If the closer you are, the more supportive you are, the better your team chemistry is. And Coach Brock Morris, who I worked under for a long time, was always telling us, pick each other up, help each other. And that was all the way from academics down to being on the hardwood and now for here being on the field. So a lot of teamwork we see from that sand crab, and maybe we're seeing University starting to fall into the sand trap.
Third down and about 7 for the University Titans. They have 4 first downs in the first half so far. Seabreeze is going to try to keep it that way. Figueroa, the handoff, and the sweep is going to get all the way out to about the 23-yard line for a fresh set of downs. Again, number 1, Jalen Brown on the carry.
Picks up enough for first down. Harry Williams on the stop for the Sandcrabs.
Nick, I wish I could have live stats for this. We did, so for nobody that knows, I know our audio was kind of messed up for the last episode. We kind of spoke on it, unless you watched the last game. Nick and I did Bethune-Cookman football here together, and one of the things that we did was we had live stats coming up in front of us from the MEAC app. And it was funny because now I came in hoping to have that kind of same thing, but unfortunately this is high school football and we don't have live stats. but Jalen Brown looks really good.
University again, and here's Jalen Brown, snuffed out in the backfield again. May have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but it took all the effort in the world to get there.
You see the head nod from Jalen Brown there. Seemed like the Seabreeze Sandcrab defender got tied up in his head, in his helmet, and he's kind of like, "Hey, dude, I'm not trying to land on you. Let me go. No fights here. All friendly, good sportsmanship from both sides here."
2nd and 10.
No gain on play. 2nd down and 10 upcoming for the University Titans.
University on their own 23-yard line. We are tied 7-7. Figueroa, he will hand it off. And all the way down the right sideline, that was Chandler Powers. Picks up a first down. Good lateral speed across
Brought down by Stevens Taylor.
the field of play.
For a first down.
And he's able to get to the corner and turn for some speed and an extra first down.
And Nick, a potential advantage here for University. They're 4 players deep at the running back position.
3 minutes, 10 seconds.
3 minutes and 10 seconds left in quarter number 2 and the first half, coming straight from the official down on the field. 1st and 10 on the 35-yard line for University. Figueroa, again, the handoff, and again, taken down for only about a 2-yard gain. Another carry by Jalen Brown.
Gain of 3 on the play. Brought down by a conglomerate of crabs.
2nd down and about 8. Once again, just about 3 minutes left as the run play bleeds the clock down. Under 3 minutes to go here in quarter number 2. Seabreeze will receive the second half kickoff. Figueroa has a man on the near side. He's hit, getting it there, and it is nearly picked off by number 8, Dimitri Campbell. And when I tell you Figueroa got hit by a brick wall, I mean it. He got absolutely lit up. I believe that was Harold McKay on that hit on Figueroa. I heard the collision up here.
It was insane. You want to speak to the guy that was playing the receiver, number 8. That is going to be Dimitri Campbell. Had a pick 6 last week and 3 interceptions. Trying to have another one. Seemed like he was going for a little too flashy of a catch. He had every opportunity to catch that ball. Reached out for it one-handed, doing his best Odell Beckham Jr. impression, and fumbled and messed up the ball.
3rd down and 8 for University.
3rd and 8 for the Titans. They've converted on 6 so far.
Hard snap, not going to get that Seabreeze D-line here.
Figueroa doing the best he can in the pocket. Hangs on to it. Drops back, steps up, has a man wide open on the left sideline. It's caught. Here's Chandler Powers trying to get all the way back. A stutter step does not work. And again, Dimitri Campbell doing his job, keeping University out of the end zone. That is the 7th first down for University, and that was a massive conversion for University.
Right, just blown coverage there, Nick. Just couldn't keep up with the wide receiver there.
So it's going to be 1st down and goal at about the 3-yard line for University. They're threatening to get their touchdown lead back. And a timeout called by Pat Brown and the Sandcrabs.
Seabreeze, second timeout.
So it is 7-7 on the scoreboard right now, but a fresh set of downs on the 3-yard line. Seabreeze is going to have to make quite a stand here, deep in their own half.
David Brown Insurance, Daytona Beach, locally owned and celebrating over 83 years of servicing our community. Business and personal insurance, we have you covered.
So it's a much different game than we saw last week. It was the defense scoring a lot of points, but now it's really turned into a true defensive type of game. Only 7-7, both offensive backing up their opposing defenders deep into their own half.
of your Seabreeze.
So it's
Sandcrabs.
become more of a defensive defense kind of game rather than an offensive defense kind of game.
Right, exactly. And we also thought that we would see more of a defensive game here this week because we didn't know what to expect out of University outside of that 41-7 win. Seemed like they looked good. We had heard of their dual threat quarterback. Didn't expect him to be built like a tank, but I mean, both teams are playing both sides of the ball here, and it's a great outing for both.
Figueroa, the handoff. Do they get to the goal line? No, they do not. Seabreeze stops University by about a couple of blades of turf.
Brought down shy of
Second
goal line.
and one,
It'll be
or excuse me, second and goal on the 1 yard line. Just shy of regaining their touchdown lead. 2 minutes remaining here in half number one. University threatening to get on the scoreboard. There will be time on the clock for Seabreeze to have one last possession, and they will receive the kick to start the second half. The handoff, Seabreeze D-line does their job. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Runner is
And with no competent
Shy of
kicker
goal
for
line.
University, we're in 4-down territory for the Titans.
Right, Nick, and I was looking. They set up there, had 2 extra blockers on the left side, and just could not punch through that Sandcrab defensive line, falling into the sand trap on the goal line. And I think that if they can have one more of those, see a field goal here, and if they can put as much pressure as they've been putting on this run defense, we can see a blocked field goal. Here, same setup, 2 blockers again.
Direct snap, Figueroa punches a hole, and he gets University back in the lead.
another run up the middle. Touchdown University.
Nick Figueroa, built like a tank. Punched through. It was really no effort, but still, I think that a lot of those Sandcrab defenders kind of didn't want anything to do with what he was bringing across the goal line.
Well, and it looked like he found the only hole imaginable. The Seabreeze D-line did their job, but Figueroa, I mean, you say he's built like a tank, but he's able to find those small little pockets to get and punch into the end zone.
Right,
And we'll see what the PAT comes off the foot of AJ D'Souza. Another low snap. It is bobbled. Will it make it there? No, it will not.
That's a block.
So that is blocked. So it is 13-7. So we know Seabreeze has a competent kicker. If the 2-minute drill works for Seabreeze, they may have a chance to get the lead here by the end of the first half.
Right, Nick, if they can move the ball down the field efficiently, that's what's going to decide how we see the second half. Seabreeze does receive the ball, so it could make a world of difference here if Seabreeze can even get a field goal and get the ball back after the second half.
So again, no official time on the scoreboard. The last we heard from the officials was 2 minutes, and that was about, 30 seconds ago. So we are under 2 minutes to go here in quarter number 2. And this is where the time on the scoreboard, or lack thereof, is really going to be a hindrance to the Seabreeze offense. They're not going to know how much time they have unless there is solid communication between the officials on the field and Blake Boda.
Right, and I think Blake Boda is competent enough to be able to kind of run his offense and know that the clock's slowly ticking down. I believe Seabreeze still has 2 timeouts. So we've got a lot of opportunity here coming on this drive. Actually, correction, now that I'm thinking about it, it was actually 1 timeout they had left. They've used 2 of theirs.
Another low kick is going to be handled by Campbell. Dimitri Campbell trying to get to the right sideline. He's got a little bit of room before he's pushed out at about the 38-yard line. So again, another solid kick return from Campbell.
Dimitri Campbell on the return for the Sandcrabs.
And Seabreeze not starting with horrible field position.
No, absolutely not. They've started with great field possession on all of their drives. I mean, the kicker for University just seems like he can't get the ball right off of his foot tonight. That field goal, that was mishandled and a block. But both kickoffs have been low to the ground, no hang time, unlike the shoe who's able to get it up in the air and down the field with efficiency.
Wear your mask and practice social distancing.
And we hear the Seabreeze announcers telling us, wear your masks, even in phase 3, and everyone seems to be following the rule tonight.
Blake Boda looking to his left, and it's thrown over everybody. Not a bad play there as he's taken down in the backfield. There is a flag. I believe Boda got hit well after he got rid of that ball.
Right, definitely going to be a roughing the passer here, or what are we going to see?
So again, that's something I do like. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but Boda threw that ball over the head of his receiver, And this may be a foul against Seabreeze
Right,
instead.
why is it coming back? I'm not.
Looks like it may be another holding penalty.
Unbelievable.
So they're going to place this ball all the way back at the 18-yard line.
Right, and we talked about it earlier, 7 penalties for 78 yards last week. And there's the call, holding on the offense. But yeah, seven penalties for 78 yards last week. And this could definitely hinder this Seabreeze drive. And
I tell you what, this is a first down and 29. Boda's left arm is going to get it out to Amir Brown. He's taken down on a hard collision. And that's going to be a tackle for a loss. So it will now be second down and 31. And again, that play was inbounds, so the clock is running. We don't know how much time is left. But with Seabreeze back so far, and knowing that they will get the ball to receive, you got to wonder how much time they will intentionally burn off the clock.
Right, and I think we just saw, we're going to see one running back in the backfield here, 3 wide, got one receiver here on our side of the field.
Boda will just hand it off, and Amir Brown will pick up possibly 2 yards. And I believe that will be the end of the first half. No, that is just going to be a timeout called by University. They understand that they may now have a chance to get the ball back to end the first half.
Right, Nick, and I think that on that play, more than anything, they had that University defense fooled. They weren't expecting a run, even though having it back in the backfield. But Seabreeze offensive line just cannot handle that defensive line. So we've got to see a better job from them.
And it looks like that is the end of the first half. Initially, I thought I saw a timeout called by University, but both teams are going back to their locker rooms. So that is the end of the first half. And here in Daytona Beach, our score at halftime, University 13, Seabreeze 7. We're going to step aside and let you see and hear the sounds of senior night for the Seabreeze girls volleyball team, and then a brief on-field performance of the Seabreeze Marching 100. We will be back for the start of quarter number 3 shortly.
This presentation of Seabreeze High School football is brought to you by the fabulous beach life at the Daytona Beach Resort and Conference Center. You can't miss this deal. All beachfront and ocean view suites only $99 any Sunday through Thursday through the end of the year. The sweet September sale ends September 30th. Call to book your schoolcation today.
Thank you, ladies. We continue tonight's performance by having a few of our color guard members perform a precision
Welcome back to Municipal Stadium here in Daytona Beach, Florida. Seabreeze currently trailing by a score of 7-3 to the University Titans. Chance, walk us through what we saw in that first half.
Honestly, Nate, that first half was a little bit rough, honestly. On both sides of the ball, we saw a lot of offensive and defensive and special teams miscues, especially coming from University. I think we got a really tight game, though. Really impressive more than anything. We're talking about it as we went downstairs and got ourselves some of that H2O.
Right.
And
We're up here on the 4th level. Beautiful view here under the lights. Went in and got some water. But we were talking about my favorite player from last week, Max Schumento. He is really making a solid difference tonight. He's had a couple of punts, a couple of kicks that the University kick returners just don't know how to handle. Twice they fumbled and mishandled. They fumbled and mishandled both of the kicks and punts that Max Schumento has been sending their way.
Right. And I think, too, Nick, the University kicker has been very, I don't want to say.
Well, again, based on the stats that we have in the roster that we have, the normal kicker punter that we have on the roster for University is not in action. We have a linebacker using his right leg instead of his body to make an impact on the game tonight. Now, as we mentioned before, Seabreeze will receive the second half kickoff, and that is going to be touched by Seabreeze and fielded at about the 26. Where is it? It's loose all the way at the 35. Rumbling loose ball, and University has it. Miscommunication by the Sandcrabs, and University takes over at their offensive 35-yard line.
Nick, in better news,
We
have a clock. It's working. 11 minutes, 52 seconds, I love to announce to you guys. But, yeah, definitely one of those cases of, hey, I'm on your team here. Give me the ball. Let me take it. And, unfortunately, the ball kind of flew. It was almost, when you jump in a pool and you're holding the ball, and it just you hit the water and the ball goes flying about 30 feet in the air. That was one of those situations. And if Seabreeze is, I believe that was wide receiver. That was number 3, Perry Williams. Or, I'm sorry, not wide receiver, defensive back. He was on the outside there, and it looked like he was about to pick it up and get a pretty good run on it, but that University defender just kind of dove right on top of the ball and stealing the hopes and dreams away from the Seabreeze special teams.
So instead of Seabreeze taking over, it is Figueroa getting the handoff, and a big pickup by number 18, Christopher Johnson. That's, I believe, the first time we've called his name all night, and that was for one heck of a pickup of about 20 yards. Or excuse me, about 15. That was at the 35-yard line that play started. We're ending at the 20 for a fresh set of downs for the Titans.
And, Nick, we spoke to somebody downstairs who's doing, never mind, he's down. Sorry about that, Nick, kind of stepping on your toes there a little, but what I was going with, we were speaking to somebody downstairs who has got Huddle Live stats going for Nick and I now, and we're kind of going to be able to touch a little bit on our first half stats and get you guys a little more info here. And once we see Seabreeze back on the field, I'm going to give you a little more inside info on Blake Boda and how he's doing.
First and goal for the Titans on the 9-yard line in Seabreeze territory. Figueroa looking for direction from his sideline. Figueroa hands it off. Seabreeze does their job stopping, again, Jalen Brown on the carry at the 5-yard line to pick up a 4 for a second down and goal.
Colt Brown on the tackle for the Sandcrabs.
And your favorite player got that tackle, Mr. Colt Brown. He's got to really start stepping up like he did last week.
He definitely has to. I believe he's only got 3 or 4 tackles this game, as where last game he had 3 or 4 sacks, 10 tackles. So he's got to step up his game. Again, move from a linebacker to a defensive back position to be able to make stops like that on a more daily basis.
Second down and goal on the 5-yard line. Figueroa hangs on to it and dives in for the touchdown. And that's what great teams are going to do. They're going to make you pay for the miscues that you do. And so it is now a 2-possession game and a 2-possession lead for the Titans. As it is right now, 7-19. The last PAT was blocked. So we'll see if it goes to 7-20 or if it stays 7-19.
And, Nick, somebody's got to be in the University head coach's ear, because I don't know if you see it, but somebody from University is watching our stream, because look at how tight-knit of a group they're looking over on University sideline now, all bunched up together like the Seabreeze side is. I think the spy for University. If you're out there, and that's a
Snap is mishandled. Ball is still alive, and Seabreeze is going to stop their man, and the PAT will not happen. Great job by Damari Taylor. He had 3 red jerseys around him ready to pick that ball up on the loose snap, and then he again had Dimitri Campbell right in his back pocket. That's what great defenders do. They're not going to go for the tackle most of the time. They're going to try to rip that ball out and try to send it the other way.
Right, and I've touched on this in some other broadcasts we've done, is they want that punch. They've been running and training to be able to run in and just, even in the league, the NFL, NCAA, running around in players and punching that ball out. And you're right, not only that's what a good defender does, that's what a great defender does. And I think that right there, if they keep having even small miscues like that, and as told to me by many coaches, whether that be football, baseball, basketball, Nick's favorite hockey, all of the above, there are no small things, because small things add up to big things. And when you have big things, you've got a 2-possession game ahead of us with 10:25 left in the third quarter. There's plenty of time left here.
Campbell and Tashad Troutman.
I'm probably going to see another line drive kick here.
And again, A.J. D'Souza. Or excuse me, that is number 31, Michael Eddy. So Seabreeze will touch that, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 6-yard line.
So no penalty here, Nick, as most people would think. Normally, there is a penalty for kicking the ball out of bounds, and this, unfortunately, Seabreeze receiver touched the ball as it kind of trotted through his legs and went out of bounds right about, I want to say, the 8.
So this is interesting to me because we just saw Michael Eddy make that kick. I want to know if they just don't trust him, if University just doesn't trust him to make the field goals or the punts, because it's on the leg of A.J. D'Souza, a linebacker, rather than the normal kicker, because he's not listed as kicker punter, he's just listed as kicker.
Right. No, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a confusing situation, and I think that, I don't know, man. This is really weird. I kind of am at a loss for words when it comes down to that kind of portion of things, because I could not even begin to fathom why they'd put a linebacker in at kicker.
But where we're at right now is 10:25 left in quarter number 3. After the botched kick return that gave University a 19-7 lead, Amir Brown is going to have another handoff go his way. And I'm not even sure the officials were set.
Amir Brown on the carry.
The officials kind of threw their arms up in the air like they didn't know what was going on. So this may be a false play rather than a loss of down and play. As it stands right now, it was a tackle for a loss and a 2nd down and 11. But the 2 officials on the near side, as the play was going on, they kind of threw their hands up in the air, not wondering what was going on.
Right. No, I don't know. The officiating tonight has been so mishandled. I can't quite tell what's going on with them tonight. I tried to speak with one of the officials during halftime. They really wouldn't give me a quote or a statement as to what was going on. But I don't know. That's probably because they don't want to, get made look bad on a stream. But at the same time, it's like they've got to get their act together. Now that we have the scoreboard running, there should be no more miscues. This should be a full game. They should not be struggling to make calls. There should be no, missed calls. Should be doing their job, Nick. And at this point, it seemed to be a struggle.
And so exactly that, the 2 officials on the near side are going to bring the play back. So it's 1st down and 10 again, as opposed to a 2nd and 11. So a second chance for Boda. The lefty looking on the near side. It's caught. Matthew Bossett gets a pickup of about 7.
Matthew Bossett.
And just what you were talking about last week, Boda is loving his tight ends.
Right, Boda is loving his tight ends. And I will say Boda did struggle in the first half. Accuracy was sort of on point. He was 4-7 for 18 yards. Bossett really was only targeted once. He had 1 catch for 6 yards, and I believe he's obviously 2 receptions, probably about 15 yards on that play. We've got we're 2nd and 4?
We're 2nd and about 3 or 4, depending on where the spot is. Looks like about 2nd and 4.
Right, and also to make mention of this, Amir Brown was seven rush attempts for 24 yards. So it seemed like the Seabreeze offense struggled. Their defense is kind of what's holding them together.
Trying to gain every yard he can, and here's a late flag flown from about 40 yards out.
Flag on the field.
Not sure if there was any gain on that play or not, maybe of about 1. Before the flag, it's third down and 3, excuse me. And I believe we may have another holding penalty against Seabreeze. So that's going to back Seabreeze up. So it remains second down, but it's going to be second down and 11 once again. All of this with Seabreeze trailing by a score of 7-19. Boda has to find something to click. He's going to look for Amir Brown to make that happen. Only picks up a couple of yards, and it's going to be third down and 9. 8.5 to go in quarter number 3. Officially, Seabreeze received the second half kickoff, but it was botched and given right back to the Titans, and they made no mistake and scored on that drive to start quarter number 3. And that is where we stand. 2 missed PATs. Otherwise, it would be 21-7. Now Boda in the backfield has to escape some pressure, hangs onto it on the left side, fighting for a first down, and I think he gets there. And a flag, I don't know what's happening over here on the near sideline, but there is a flag on the near sideline. As it is right now, it's a first down on the feet of Boda. And again, the officials having a discussion. The line judges on the far side not knowing what's going on, not knowing where to place their yardage sticks. But I believe it is going to be a first down, and this one's... So a 15-yard personal foul penalty against University. It was a first down for Boda anyways, but they'll gain an extra 15 yards all the way up to the 32, and a big first down for Seabreeze.
And if Boda can get this offense together, that could potentially be a momentum shifter in this game, get them a touchdown, as mentioned before, only 2 possessions down. We've got a really interesting second half on our hands if Seabreeze can get their offense together. Because it is, if Seabreeze can get up to par on offense with this University defense, I think that Seabreeze is definitely going to give them a run for their money late in the fourth quarter.
And this is their first crack at the field in the second half. Again, they didn't get a chance to play after quote, receiving the kickoff, as Amir Brown in the backfield trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. And University is going to get some momentum after a big tackle for a loss right in front of their sideline.
See, and with Amir Brown, I don't understand why he would cut back. It makes no sense. He had perfect blocking in front of him. It makes absolutely no sense to run behind your quarterback and run around to the opposite side of the field. It makes no sense to me. And, of course, it's going to make no sense to the coach. If you can't trust him to hand the ball off to him anymore, take him off the field, get your other running back in, which seems like what they're about to do. I see number 23 coming on the field. We're going to see Amir Brown go back. They're swapping positions.
Second and long for Seabreeze. About 7:15 left in quarter number 3. Botch snap, and Boda just has to fall on it. And it is just not clicking right now for Seabreeze. University, the better team coming out of halftime.
University obviously prepared coming out of halftime. This Seabreeze offense just cannot connect for anything. Centers making terrible snaps. There's ridiculous penalties that they are bringing upon themselves. They're just putting themselves in a terrible position. We're at a third down, and I think it's looking to me about 12. But it's just, they've got to get their offense together or else they're never going to have a chance at winning this game.
Third down and long. Boda, again, a weird snap. Finds a man downfield. Instead, it's dropped, and out of bounds it goes. And out comes Shumento to send this a long way on fourth down. And a drive that really didn't have much going for it other than the feet of Boda for a first down. It's going to go right back into the hands of University.
It's going to bring up fourth down for the Sandcrabs, and the punt team enters the field.
And Nick, this Sandcrab offense just cannot connect, and it's disappointing more than anything after seeing so much potential in Boda last week. I think this University defensive line, as we mentioned in the beginning, hearing from people up here from University, saying that their defensive line and their secondary is scary, and they have not been wrong yet.
Max Schimento back to punt for the Sandcrabs.
Here comes the shoe. I had to say it, I'm sorry.
6.5 to go in quarter number 3, and out comes the shoe to try to send this a mile. The right leg will do just that. Long time up in the air. Fair catch is called. That was Damari Taylor, who had no opportunity to field that ball except other than try to hang on to it.
What's nice about the shoe is that on his punts, he seems to give this Sandcrab special teams a lot of time and a lot of hang time on that ball to make sure they're down the field in time to block guys like Dimitri. He's fast, proven in that first return that he had. He's fast, without a doubt.
So all of this with 6:25 left in quarter number 3, a 19-7 lead for University, and they are going to have an opportunity to work on it again.
And Volusia County Schools, please wear your mask and practice social distancing during tonight's game.
So Aiden Figueroa, who already has 2 rushing touchdowns, none of the touchdowns for either team, I believe. If I go back and think about how Seabreeze scored their touchdown, I don't think any touchdowns have been through the air. I think they've all been on the ground. Definitely all 3 of University's. 2 for Figueroa and 1 for Brown. And Jalen Brown is going to have another carry for a gain of 2 for University.
2-yard gain on the run. 2nd and 8.
And as we take a look at Seabreeze's schedule, next week they will look towards Atlantic High School,
cheerleading team,
followed by Spruce Creek, and then the homecoming game against New Smyrna Beach, week after week.
Julia Bassett, Cameron Carey, Jayla Clowers-Jones, Caitlin.
Handoff is completed, and a big tackle and a big stop for only a gain of 2.
Carly Gunter.
That was Christopher Johnson on that carry. And it looked like number 15, Stephen Taylor,
Katrina
on the tackle.
Alonza, Ellie Schultz, Skylar Tan, Riley Thompson, and Madison Tiffany. Let's give it up for our cheerleaders.
So this will be 3rd down and 5 for University. They have 8 first downs so far in this game. 5 minutes to go in quarter number 3.
Seabreeze has got to get a stop here if they want any chance at scoring.
Figueroa hanging on to it, has a man wide open downfield. And based on the reaction on the far sideline, the University fans think it's a completion, and the official agrees. A big completion.
Complete for a first down.
Holy cow.
That was one heck of a throw by Figueroa.
Figueroa, a true dual threat quarterback, using his legs, like we said earlier, he's built like a tank, but also has an absolute cannon for an arm. And you talk about getting mossed. You had number 3, Damari Taylor there. He's a running back.
And another timeout by the officials for a water break will stop the clock at 4:36. And a much needed timeout for Seabreeze. That is a kind of play that can get University. I mean, they've come out in droves on their side of the field for their fans. So that was a lot of momentum that was building up for the Titans.
Right, and that's definitely a huge momentum shot, especially coming off of 3rd and 5. Now I'm really surprised we haven't seen more trust in his arm tonight by Figueroa. I think they need to let him throw the ball more personally, because showing that accuracy, I mean, it was also more secondary defense by the Sandcrabs defense, but it's a one-on-one, and it's a game of speed when you're a receiver and a defensive back. You've got to be able to keep up, and unfortunately, he couldn't keep up there.
For all your electrical needs.
So once again, all of this with 4:36 left in quarter number 3. A first down and 10 on the 28-yard line in Seabreeze territory in the works for the University Titans. Again, we thank you for joining us here on the Seabreeze YouTube live stream. Nick Gimbel alongside Chance Thyhsen, brought to you by an entire student production crew, which is a tremendous feat in itself with 4.5 on a running clock now. First and 10 for University, off the long completion out of the hands of Figueroa. He will hand it off, and again, it is Chandler Powers this time, powering his way to a 5-yard gain.
Short gain on the run, brings up second down and 6.
Second down and officially 6. And again, as University and Aiden Figueroa get direction from the sideline, everyone just kind of milling about, waiting to get into position. 3:43 on a running clock left in quarter number 3. Figueroa out of the backfield. He will hang on to it, gets the first down, and gets some more. He's going to get into the end zone for his 3rd rushing touchdown of the game. And it will be a 25-7 lead for University. And it is all Titans right now.
Yeah, Nick, I mean, incredible blocking there by the University offensive line, and they're not messing around with them tonight. They have come in prepared and have been absolutely locked down on both sides of the ball. It's impressive. He's a true dual threat. I'm very, very impressed by this University offense.
So we'll see what happens on this PAT. The second PAT was blocked. The third PAT was a botched snap.
What's your prediction, Nick? I'm going with a botched snap here.
Good snap, clean hold, and a possible clean kick, and it is good for a 26-7 lead. There is 15:24 left in this game. 3:24 left in quarter number 3. Seabreeze has to get on the board here before the end of this 3rd quarter if they want any hope in getting back in this game. It's possible, not undoable, but it's going to be a tall mountain to climb.
Right, Nick, and you know what they say, it's not over till you see triple zeros on the scoreboard. And I think that with the right amount of defensive pressure, the right amount of offensive connections, Seabreeze could potentially come back. But right now, through the struggles of Blake Boda and the defensive miscues of this entire Seabreeze secondary, much as I hate to say it, I'm not seeing it, Nick.
So barring a botched reception again, Seabreeze is going to get the ball back, dealing with a 26-7 deficit. And it is Michael Eddy to send this away with the right foot. This one's going to be a short kick, hits the turf at about the 26, picked up on the far side, and Seabreeze will get out of bounds at about the 36-yard line with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in quarter number 3. Aerial drone video was provided by Visual Line Drone Solutions. This presentation of Seabreeze High School football is brought to you by the fabulous beach life at the Daytona Beach Resort and Conference Center. You can't miss this deal. All beachfront and ocean view suites are only $99 Sunday through Thursday until the end of the calendar year. This sweet September sale ends September 30th. Call to book your schoolcation today. And they are the preferred hotel of Seabreeze High School Athletics. As we come back here with about 3:20 left in quarter number 3, Chance, what's the main thing that needs to change for these Sandcrabs?
Nick, the main thing that's got to change for these Sandcrabs is they've got to connect on offense. Blake Boda struggled the entire game. Not what I expected to see out of him, but this defensive pressure coming from University has changed the entire outlook of this game, as well as the complete offense that we've seen from University. Their run game's been complete. It's been heavy. It's been hard hitting. And the accuracy from their quarterback has been incredible as well. So personally, even though we had a pretty fairly even close half and definitely close first quarter.
It's been all university the second half.
Exactly. And even towards the end of the second quarter, it was all university, and we kind of got a taste of probably what we'll see for most of the rest of this game, unfortunately, for Seabreeze. But if Blake Boda can get his act together and start making some passes happen and make some better – definitely we need to see a little more out of Amir Brown. He's the senior running back for Seabreeze. Had a fumble, 4 yards rushing last week. Seemed to be doing a lot better this week, but just continues to struggle running head first rather than running, left or right on the field. I don't know, Nick. There's a lot Seabreeze has got to do here, and unless Blake Boda can get it together and get his guys together, I don't foresee it happening.
And it's not just a 1 or 2 game season. Seabreeze has 8 games on their schedule. Just a quick reminder, next week is a Thursday kickoff. October 1st versus Atlantic High School is a Thursday night broadcast right here at Municipal Stadium. So we will not, if you try to find us on Friday night, good luck. We will not be here. Following that, we'll be on our normal Friday night, 10-9 versus Spruce Creek. Then again, touching on that homecoming kickoff against New Smyrna Beach. Then on 10-23, the only game we will not have coverage for you is Seabreeze visiting Pine Ridge. There will be 0 coverage from us and the student production team for that broadcast. Then on October 30th, the day before Halloween, Mainland High School will be the technical home team here at Municipal Stadium, so Seabreeze will be the visiting team. We will have coverage that night. And then the final game of the season, a home game versus DeLand High School, Hall of Fame night for Seabreeze High School, and then we move into the postseason after that. And not quite sure what the discussion is. Pat Brown wants a piece of one of the officials heading in between the hash marks.
Nick, Pat Brown can't be happy tonight with this officiating. I mean, it's been...
Well, not just with the officiating. His team needs to go back to the drawing board.
Right. And the other thing, too, Nick, I think there has been so many offensive woes for Seabreeze, so many hurdles they need to jump over for this. I think Boda can do it, and I think the Seabreeze team can do it. They have great talent. They're a great team. Especially, I mean, look at number 70 standing there. He's a freshman. So much potential for this team. They lose 20 seniors next season, but we've got them this season. And personally, I hope to see a Seabreeze comeback. Not really in the sights right now, but as long as Blake Boda can get his act together, which is what we've seen him be able to do, especially last game, I think we potentially could see a Seabreeze comeback.
And that's what all Heisman contending quarterbacks do at the collegiate level. They will take over a game when his team needs it.
Personal foul, defense, personal foul, offense. 2 players are ejected.
So coincidental personal foul penalties. The officials didn't give us numbers, but based on the way he's coming off the field and getting direction from the coaching staff, I think at least for Seabreeze it is number 11, Chad Peza, who is going to be ejected from the game. And it looks like he is going to be escorted to the locker room. That was the delay, was the offsetting personal foul penalties as Blake Boda is hit in the backfield for an incompletion as Matthew Bossett was the intended target. And Chance, you're pointing all the way downfield. There's a receiver that has no one around him. All of this with 3:15 left in quarter number 3. 2nd down and 10 for the home team. Boda off a good snap, finds his tight end. Bossett hit hard from behind. And finally the flag comes out. That was a late hit to the backside of a defenseless receiver. They're going to call that a completed pass, only for 3 yards.
Well, for 18 now after the personal foul.
Tell you what, Matthew Bossett has taken some licks tonight. but he is making a positive impact on the game tonight. Didn't have too much noteworthy, to talk about from last game. But again, as you mentioned earlier, it's the little things that keep adding up. And a short 3-yard reception like that draws in a defender, takes a hit from behind, as the officials are going to discuss this. That's going to give your team a first down, even on a short 3-down reception. Take a hit to make a play.
Right. And of course, you never want to see somebody take a hit like that, especially to the back. But I don't see what the point of that hit was for University. And I'm not.
Targeting, 15-yard penalty.
Targeting.
That is a targeting foul, a 15-yard penalty. I didn't hear any ejections.
Yeah, that's normally an ejection penalty. He may have been taken out without announcement. Because I'm seeing a 21 on our side of the field now instead of a number 13.
So right at the 50-yard line, a fresh set of downs for the sophomore quarterback, and Seabreeze trying to get into offensive territory. 3 minutes to go in quarter number 3, a hefty deficit for the Sandcrabs. And Amir Brown is going to be taken down for a gain of 3, stays in play, and he'll run the clock down, 2:45 and counting.
Amir Brown runs to the near side, picks up 3 yards.
And again, the frustrations for Seabreeze in the running game right now. And again, I'm going to be that broken record. The running backs for Seabreeze are running miles and miles the width of the field, not the length.
Right, and that's going to be a constant struggle for them. That's where that's where Pat Brown's going to have to go back to the drawing board and tell them, hey, in practice, no running to the side. That's where you have one of those kind of lineup drills where you got running backs running in the middle.
Boda through the air to the left side, and it's incomplete. That may have been offensive pass interference if it was completed. And another flag in the backfield.
Incomplete.
There's 2 flags on the play. It looked like there was a flag towards the receivers, but there's also one where Boda got landed on in the backfield. So we'll see what comes from this. They may be offsetting if it's offensive pass interference and roughing the passer. Again, a very slow-moving third quarter that has seen 2 scores for University, bringing it 26-7, the lead for the Titans over Seabreeze. And foul after foul after flag after flag. I can't say they're not warranted. There's just sloppy play from both teams right now, rule-wise, I should say.
Right. No, it's honestly, Nick, it's been sloppy on both sides of the ball for these teams. It's been all University mainly, and been more sloppy on the defensive side of the ball for Seabreeze. I mean, blowing coverages, all of these different things, and like you said, being a broken record, small things add up. It's no joke. I think we're going to get the call from the officials here. Or are they just going to let them play?
Well, we'll get the call from the official here.
2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, roughing the passer, offensive pass interference against the red team. Penalties offset, 2nd down.
So the offsetting penalties is exactly as we called it up here, Chance. Offensive pass interference and roughing the passer. So it remains, well, it's going to be 2nd down and 7. 2:11 left on the clock in quarter number 3. Boda again hangs on to it, goes right back to the side, and Matthew Bossett, I believe the intended target, just didn't have the legs to get there. It was thrown a little bit ahead of him. And again, Boda just trying to find something to click right now.
Right, and Boda struggled all the way through the first half and is struggling now, even with fantastic field position. I mean, you've got to take advantage of this. You can't constantly be letting your offense struggle. You've got to put a ball, especially in number 13, Matthew Bossett's hands. He's been waiting for it all night. He's done fairly well. He is a great tight end. And you've got to put the ball in his hands more, put more trust in him as you did last week. More than likely going to see a handoff, it looks like. Maybe a direct.
Boda working to his left, gets out of the pocket, has some room to work with, and gets out of bounds before the first down marker. And once again, here's another flag.
On the quarterback keeper. Another flag on the play.
That'll run the clock down exactly 11 seconds. And we may see another holding penalty here.
either that, Nick, or a block in the back. I couldn't quite tell which one they were calling. There were a few on that play. It seemed to be missed, but.
And the officials are backing Seabreeze up again.
So we're from the spot of the penalty, so it seems like they're.
Offense, 10-yard penalty.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 13. Back on their defensive half. As they trail by 19.
They've got to let Boda sling the ball here. At this point, what's the loss? We've still got an entire quarter left. Let him throw the ball. You've got man-to-man coverage at the top of your screen.
Not a lot of secondary, just one safety in the back.
Exactly.
Boda will hang on to it. O-line trying to do its job. Boda gets out of the pocket, and he has nowhere to go except out of bounds on a run play. Good coverage from University. They didn't need a safety. Good man-to-man play. Boda just didn't have anywhere to go with it except on the ground out of bounds. Gained 8 yards on the run. A solid run, but he was backed too far up from that holding penalty and a little bit too far away from Shumento to try to get this one through the uprights. I think he'll punt this one away as the punt team comes out.
Nick, earlier we saw him in warm-ups from about that hash mark trying to kick field goals, and a few times was very close. So, I mean, I'd love to see him come out and kick one, because what do they have to lose, really? Maybe get some points on the board?
Shumento's going to direct some traffic here.
Nick, I think they're going to go for it. Or no, are they going to punt? I'm sorry, I can't find the formation. Are they going to? Yep, he's going to punt.
We haven't seen any trickery yet this season, but again, what do you have to lose other than there is a whole 12 minutes left to play after the final 1:36 of quarter number 3.
Right, and I see some adjustment there at the line. We could potentially see some trickery.
And again, this one's just going to be floated through the air. And another beautiful punt as this one's going to start rolling back. Someone's got to get there finally. It is E.J. Williams.
Punt rolls to the 15-yard line. University takes over 1st and 10.
University will take over from the 16-yard line.
Uber, your parents.
1:26 left in quarter number 3. A very slow-moving quarter number 3 to the scoring and fouls, but 26-7 lead in the works for University right now.
Due to penalties, Nick, I'm going to be honest with you, this is the longest third quarter of my life. I've watched a lot, and I'm a diehard Steelers fan. I've watched a lot. Okay, yikes, yeah, come on. I've watched a lot of slow third quarters, and I got to say this has been the slowest of my life.
1st and 10 for University on their own 16-yard line. Again, Shumento doing his job, trying to pin University in poor field position. And I believe University may have gotten just a single yard gained on that play, maybe 2.
Brown on the carry.
Spotting him at the 18-yard line.
On the play, brought down by a syndicate of Sandcrabs.
So with a running clock, there's 65 seconds left in quarter number 3. 2nd down and about 8. Figueroa hanging onto it in the pocket, flushed out to the right, through the air, nearly picked off by Eli Campbell. 2 receivers were there for University, but 2 defensive coverage, 2 players there for defensive coverage for Seabreeze, and it's going to be 3rd down and 8.
3rd down for University.
39.4 seconds on the clock. Figueroa with 2 options on either side of him for a pass, plus 1 in the backfield, hangs onto it, steps back in the pocket, flushes one out to Brown. Brown with lots of space, gets a block, hits his own man at the 45-yard line, still not taken down before he gets into Seabreeze territory.
And there's those screenplays we talked about earlier. Consistently, every single time. I don't know if you've noticed, every single time they've been on 3rd down coming out of their own side of the field, they've run a halfback screen. Every time. without fail. So for me, it's like Seabreeze has got to do a better job on defense. You've got to expect that. When you've got a consistent third down tendency, you've got to be able to read that. And look, if you're a middle linebacker, halfback screen's not hard to stop. Push the halfback. You've got wide open gaps between them and your blockers. Most of the blockers, it was honestly poorly run. Most of the blockers were already downfield before the running back even had the ball in his hands. So for Seabreeze's defense, they're just falling apart, and I'm not happy with the performance.
The end of the third quarter.
As we come to the end of the third quarter here, Seabreeze with a 26-7 deficit, losing right now. Going to come back onto the field with a 1st and 10 by University. Starting the fourth quarter. Nick, I kind of want to hear from you. I feel like so Nick normally, if you don't know, is a hockey analyst, but I've drug him into the world of football through stuff like this. And Nick, from what you've seen, what do you see in this fourth quarter? What do you think? What can I was about to say Mainland. What can Seabreeze do on the defensive side of the ball to get some stops here and keep University from getting another score on the board?
Other than the obvious, be better.
Right.
I mean, they have the opportunities to make the right plays.
Absolutely.
They're putting themselves in good position. They're just not following through.
Right.
We saw a beautiful pass coverage from Seabreeze there. And then, again, that screenplay. Right. Not able to pick it up. University's doing it every third down. They're getting that screenplay. And Seabreeze just needs to recognize that pattern, because that's exactly what football is. It's a game of patterns. It's a game of consistencies or inconsistencies. That's how you fool a defense. You be inconsistent based on what you've done. So by now, Seabreeze on the next third down, we'll see if they set up for a screenplay and then maybe a long bomb from Figueroa.
Right, exactly. It's been consistently back and forth as we look at the Seabreeze marching 100 here. But yeah, it's been consistently back and forth, Nick. And my thing is, like, you look at this team, and it's like, okay, you've had 2 defensive miscues. One of them was cornerback number 8, Demetri Campbell, doing his best, his best Odell Beckham Jr. impression, trying to get a one-handed interception. Then you've got number 10, Eli Campbell, on the opposite side, missing an opportunity interception. It's a game of Butterfingers tonight and almost popcorn. And so it's like just constantly missing opportunities, and so you're absolutely right.
Figueroa, the handoff is good. And a big
hurdle
play. Here comes Cole Leisure trying to get all the way down, finally taken down at the 6-yard line. That should have been taken down at about the 30-yard line. Instead, that was Cole Leisure getting up there to get a hefty gain on the run.
Hello, Leisure. Nick and I, it's funny. That was a leisurely run, wouldn't you say, Nick?
Yeah, simple little run.
Simple little run, right, with that hurdle. Call him up. I mean, can't draw it up any differently. I think that's the 3rd time a Seabreeze.
And excuse me, that's taken down at the 11-yard line, not the 6-yard line, so it's 1st and 10. So if University gets down to the 1-yard line and not the goal line, they'll have a fresh set of downs to work with. Again, the run game working, except a little slip up on the artificial turf as Jalen Brown on that carry picks up 2 yards.
Just a misread by the running back there. Saw his gap too late, tried to split it, didn't end up working out.
And on this kind of turf, on a humid, sticky night like we have, you try to plant your foot on this artificial turf, you saw it right there. Feet are getting taken out from under you.
Right, and it's not by the defenders. It's by the man upstairs giving us some serious weather here tonight. It's hot. I mean, we're up here out in the heat and the humid. Even though it's dark, if you're not watching from Florida, welcome to the humidity capital of the world, population us. It is sticky out here tonight. Oh, my goodness.
Figueroa looked like he was about to be taken down in the backfield. Fights for a gain of a yard or 2.
I'm looking down here, Nick. The student section starting to clear out for Seabreeze.
It is a 19-point deficit for the home team.
Sad sight to see, especially after so much hope in the first game last week. Boda shows signs of hope, and then there's games like tonight where he shows his inconsistency as a young quarterback. And it seems like he was having spurts of growth where he would use his legs and kind of get outside of the pocket, work out. but made the smart decision by not throwing crossbody a few times, but had receivers open.
Figueroa, and it was tipped through the air. I think it was Damari Taylor. And now we've got a University player wants to heavily get at one of the Seabreeze players.
I don't know if you just saw the line judge, but he just chunked that thing from about the 10 all the way to where the other two referees are standing. We need to start him a quarterback tonight. Holy cow.
I don't see what got the University O-line all up in arms, but
Good
I tell you
Lord.
what, we just about had a Donnybrook out on the field.
Now, Nick, here's what I'll give you just to give us a little bit of entertainment here as we wait. So, should we see non-penalized fights in football like we do in hockey?
Well, I'm going to stop you right there. Fights are penalized in hockey, but you don't get tossed out of a game.
Right.
At the youth level, you do.
Right.
Because for taking off on a tangent a little bit, because
Right.
you brought it up, hockey is making its way out of the game. It will always be there, but it's not as prominent as before.
Right.
In any athletic event, I love seeing that from University.
Right.
They're up by 19. They still have that fight. They still have that grit. That shows me the University Titans are not going to slow down. So Seabreeze needs to kick it up a gear. There's always going to be the tensions. There's always going to be a scuffle. There's always going to be extracurricular activities within the extracurricular activity. And the only personal foul is going to be against Seabreeze. So whatever happened, the officials are not going to pick up the retaliation. Unless I heard offsetting. So it'll be 3rd down and short. It's going to be placed on the 4-yard line. The first down marker is on the 2-yard line.
See, and I don't understand why Seabreeze is penalized here, though. They weren't the ones. I was watching the whole time. Nothing was provoked by Seabreeze.
Well, I didn't see what caused the University O-line player to get all up in arms. I will say that. So the officials saw something I didn't, as the clock is running now with 9:25, as the officials have now stopped the play.
Hey, Crabtrap, get on your feet and support your defense.
It's 3rd down and short, but the officials are having a discussion as the clock continues to bleed down. And they're actually going to spot this as a 4th down. So either this goes or it doesn't for University. They've got to get a first down here. Deep in Seabreeze territory. Figueroa, the handoff. Seabreeze trying to do their job, and I think they do. It's going to be a turnover on downs for the Sandcrabs. Deep in their own territory, but that's a little bit of an emotional boost that they needed.
No gain on the play.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 from Seabreeze's own 4-yard line. And unfortunately, the scoreboard, in my opinion, not really telling the tale of the game. A couple of botched plays for Seabreeze gave University 2 touchdowns here in quarter number 3 at the time, now quarter number 4.
Because we're here to help heal what hurts.
But I mean, we went into the first half with Seabreeze trailing 7-13. At that point, it was a tight game. And University has just blown the doors off this game.
Volusia County Schools Athletics. Visit adventhealth.com to learn more.
All of this with 8:55 left in quarter number 4. Seabreeze trailing 7-26. And again, that one is not complete. That's going to be defensive pass interference, or at least a holding.
Or a personal foul at this point even, especially the shove after the ball was uncatchable.
Thyhsen Gallery was the intended target, and the University defender all over Gallery, and an extra shove after the incomplete pass.
It's going to be Noble Thomas that's going to get that penalty.
Stops the clock with 8:50. And now Seabreeze has University irritated a little bit. Usually it's the other way around. Usually the losing team towards the end of the game taking unnecessary penalties, but right now, in the past couple of minutes or so, University seems to be
agitated,
easily agitated. If I'm Seabreeze, I'm using that. Forget about throwing or running the ball.
Defense, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Pick up a 1st down on a single penalty. You get 2 or 3 of those, you're 20, 30 yards down the field without any effort other than trying to get under your opponent's skin. So first and 10 on the 18-yard line, and more whistles on the play.
They may have blown it dead before the ball was snapped, so. Yeah, we're still going to see a first down here. It was definitely a false start, though.
Boda, the handoff, tackled in the backfield, was Amir Brown for a loss on the play of about 3 or 4.
At this point for the Sandcrab offense, just stop giving the ball to Amir Brown. He's getting swallowed up in the backfield.
Not even just Amir Brown. He's had one heck of a game, but the O-line for Seabreeze isn't there right now.
Right, and I don't even know necessarily just the running game in general for Seabreeze has got to come back. I don't understand. You're on the, You're on the 10-yard line now. Why are we running the ball?
Boda out to the near sideline. Has Tashad Troutman. Gets a couple extra yards on that play up to the 17-yard line. And it'll be third down and about 6. Spotted at the 17-yard line. Under 8 minutes to go in quarter number 4. Time running out for the Sandcrabs to try to mount some offensive pressure. And again, 3 receivers to the right. The strong side of Boda hangs onto it, rolls that way, looks for a man downfield, and it goes over the head of Matthew Bossett. And that's really been the story of Seabreeze tonight. Just missing plays. The opportunity is there. It's just miscue after miscue.
Right, and the little things add up. I mean, if Boda could just keep himself and give himself some more pocket presence, he would have seen, number 7, Harold McKay was one-on-one wide open downfield. He's got the arm to do it. He's got to be a little less pressured. That O-line's got to do their job and be able to give him a little bit of pocket presence, because it seemed to be a design play. It's happened multiple times where he's been rolling right and kind of trying to get those sideline plays in, almost like they're in the 2-minute drill trying to stop the clock, but it's just, at this point, it's a lost cause. I mean, 2-minute drill at the 7-minute mark. At this point, they've got nothing to lose. They may as well push, instead of waiting till it comes down to it to, include that in their offense, as we see the punt here.
Damari Taylor back to receive this punt from the shoe. Takes a Seabreeze bounce, and it will continue rolling to about the 30-yard line. Finally grabbed at about the 29. We'll see where the officials field it. Looks like they're going to settle it down at the 29-yard line. With 7:22 left in quarter number 4, that has been all University. And it's a much different Blake Boda than we saw from last week. We're going into next week, next Thursday, when Seabreeze is going to play Atlantic High School. But right now, the University Titans really having their way. And on paper, on stats, really a consistent game from last week. Boda hasn't looked the same. He hasn't looked as confident. But there was only one offensive touchdown scored last week by Seabreeze. The rest were scored by the defense.
Right.
So the defense doesn't have any points on the board tonight. University has been able to use that third down and the screen pass and the running game to get on the scoreboard. And Seabreeze offense really hasn't stepped it up or improved too much from last week. And that's all you ask for as a head coach, is you want to improve upon yourself from last week. As the handoff is complete and Chandler Powers is going to get close to the first down marker.
Talk about some power behind Chandler Powers. I don't know if you saw the shoulder he drove into that Seabreeze defender. Oh, my goodness.
It's going to be second down and about 2. 7 minutes to go in the game. That sees Seabreeze trailing 7-26. And again, you just feel it on the sidelines. Now, as we mentioned before, when it was a tighter game, as the handoff again complete close to the first down, and it looks like they're going to give it to them. Fresh set of downs at the 40-yard line for University with 6.5 to go in quarter number 4.
Brown on the carry. Nathan Boyd on the tackle for the Sandcrabs.
and officially will be a first down.
Harold McKay on the assist.
So, Nick, I actually just looked up. I kind of got quiet there for a second. I apologize. But I just looked up Atlantic's game right now. They're currently down to Matanzas 45-0. The matchup next week could either be very even or very ugly.
And here comes University getting another first down on the run game.
And mind you, too, this is Atlantic's first game of the season, Nick.
Aiden
That
Figueroa on the quarterback keeper.
is not hopeful.
Nathan Boyd once again on the tackle.
And another water break timeout by the officials.
It's a third one tonight. Are they making up for the ones they've missed last Friday? I mean,
It is
good
much
Lord.
more humid tonight than it was last week. So, I mean, and you're at the level of high school where you don't have too many fresh legs, too many fresh subs like you do third or fourth set of D-line or O-line that you do. I mean, Clemson's one of the best at it at the collegiate level, where they're going to, if they're, I mean, the ACC isn't too terribly competitive for Clemson. When they're playing someone like Wake Forest or someone like the Citadel on a 49-0 win.
Or Wofford.
Or Wofford, Dabo Sweeney's going to use his entire team.
Right.
High school coaches don't have that luxury, so you do have players playing every snap. I mean, you've got Perry Williams, or excuse me, you've got Dimitri Campbell, a defensive end and a tight end, plays on both sides of the ball. So I mean, you got players playing on both offense and defense. Those are players who need a little bit of time to cool down if they're not going to get it from their coaching staff. Bleeding clock down to 5:50 left in quarter number 4. University with a fresh set of downs at the 48-yard line. Man in motion, and the handoff is completed to Taylor. Damari Taylor taken down for a gain of 5. Second down and halfway to the first down marker in Seabreeze territory. 5.5 on a running clock. Seabreeze trailing 7-26.
Net 6 yards.
And what's
Perry
frustrating
Williams
for
on
me,
the tackle.
Nick, is there, especially for Seabreeze on the offensive side of the ball, there are so many ways to expose this University defense. I've noticed so many defensive miscues, and right now it's just at fault of the entire offense. There's no certain someone to put the blame on because, like you said, consistency. Blake Bodo's pretty much got the same amount of yards he had last game so far. Same amount of first downs. A lot of the same stats.
Big tackle right at the line of scrimmage. Not sure who made that tackle, but that was a big collision right there at the third down marker.
Eli Campbell on the
And
tackle for the
hearing
Sandcrabs.
word, it's Eli
First down.
Campbell with a phenomenal tackle, not allowing University to pick up any yards on that second down play, so it remains third down and 5. And again, it's been successful regardless of the time left or the score on the clock. University is going to run this ball again, running the clock down to under 4.5 to go. And they're going to use up as much of this clock as possible. And both teams have all 3 of their timeouts remaining, but at this point, Pat Brown may see it too little too late. Figueroa looks over his options, and the C's part right in front of him, but not before he gets slammed a yard shy of the first down marker. So a pickup of 4 brings up fourth down and 9.
First down. DeMarco Nelson on the stop for the Sandcrabs.
I was about to say,
And
just
the
announced
fourth and 1.
DeMarco Nelson Sr. for the Sandcrabs with a huge hit on the quarterback there.
And with no kicker punter like Shumento for University, we're in 4-down territory trying to pin Seabreeze back. Even if this doesn't work, it's going to pin Seabreeze at the 39-yard line, but be ready for a run here. It's worked, or as we said before, third or fourth down, watch a screen pass here. Figueroa with options all around him. The handoff and the run is going to work. University gets another set of fresh downs with 3:10 left in quarter number 4. And the D-line just doesn't have an answer for the University run game.
No, God, no. Especially when you've got number 18. That's going to be Christopher Johnson again. Seen a deep roster of running backs for University. They've had him in and out of the game. He is just, I mean, he's had what? That's his third hurdle. They've had 5 hurdles in this game for the entire team, and 3 of them have come from him. Kid is just bouncing. Think he plays basketball on the side, Nick?
Another handoff is complete to Christopher Johnson. Another solid gain on the run game. And it's going to be second down in about 4 or 5 yards. Time, the main enemy right now for Seabreeze. University has had possession of this ball since what? 8 minutes left in quarter number 4. They've had about 6 minutes of possession here, giving Seabreeze no time.
It's been longer than that, I think, since 11, actually. It's just been straight up University here without. There's been no fight back from this Seabreeze defense. I mean, glimmers of hope, but nothing to impress me.
Figueroa, again, the run game gonna work, breaking tackles and getting to the left sideline finally with some help. Jalen Brown finally taken down, but not before he gets to the 20-yard line, and another first down for University. Under 2 minutes to go. Clock will stop momentarily to move the chains at the 20-yard line.
It cracks me up like that sometimes to see somebody get their ankle out. I mean, you can see me, the camera can't, but I'm back here kind of trying to hold my laughter because just to see someone get grabbed by the ankle like that, someone as big as Jalen Brown, you're like, you're like trying to get forward and you're in the clinches.
And all the while knowing you're about to get trucked by a second Seabreeze defender coming your way.
You've been trapped in the claw of a Seabreeze defender.
And that's a good tackle in the backfield by Seabreeze. So a tackle for a loss in second down and 11.
No gain on the play.
Unless they spot him right at the line of scrimmage, so second down and 10.
Harry Williams and Harold McKay.
68 seconds left in quarter number 4, and now there's no time left for Seabreeze in a 3-possession game.
Yeah, I think we kind of knew there wasn't a lot of time left when we were at 11 minutes, and they've had the ball in the entire rest of the the second half.
If you're looking to buy or sell for all your needs, call us.
Only 1 or 2 more plays for University, and here on second down, we may see victory formation. And that's exactly what we're going to see. Clock bleeds down to 34 seconds left.
Thanksgiving weekend for the 2020 Daytona Turkey Run, the largest card show and swap meet in the U.S.
And all it's going to take is one right knee down on the turf, brings up third down, but it's not going to mean anything. Clock bleeds down, a running clock with 15 seconds left. And you can't win or lose a game in the first half, but University won that game in the third quarter.
Right, yeah, and they came out a team on a mission tonight, and they just
and you knew it was going to go that way from the kickoff of the second half. A botched kickoff return for Seabreeze, and that was the story of the second half.
Right, especially you would think that would be a disadvantage to University kicking a ball like that so low, being without a normal kicker. But, I mean, it seemed to prevail to their advantage, Nick. I mean, let's hope Seabreeze has a better game next week, but University prevails tonight 26-7. And I think that University just played a complete game tonight. There was no questions asked about that. And so, yeah.
Once again, a reminder, next week is a Thursday night kickoff against Atlantic High School. October 1st, a 7 p.m. kickoff here at Thursday night here at Municipal Stadium. Once again, our final score from Municipal Stadium is University Titans 26, Seabreeze Sandcrabs 7. For Chance Thyhsen and our entire student production team, I'm Nick Gimbel saying good night from Daytona Beach. You've been watching Seabreeze High School football, brought to you by the Daytona Beach Resort. This has been a presentation of Volusia County Schools.
Hey, you spelled my last name right. Bruce, I gotta say, great job, man. You spelled my last name right. Oh, for the love of God.
Hey, it didn't happen during the broadcast. It's fine.